What's it like to be involved in a series like this that is so unique in college football with Notre Dame, really a series based on a debt of honor?
Yeah, it's like you said, the history of this rivalry is pretty special. It just shows you what both schools are about. Obviously, the Naval Academy and helping out Notre Dame and Notre Dame's commitment in continuing the series. Obviously, there are a lot of people that want to play Notre Dame, and we're grateful for a chance to play such a storied program. We wish we'd have a couple more W's on our side of the ledger, but it's considering the history, it's a really special deal.
What does it mean to both your current players each season and also when you're out on the recruiting trail to be able to say that Navy each and every season always plays Notre Dame?
Well, it's huge for us in recruiting. Some of the places we play, obviously playing in South Bend is a special, unique, iconic, sports arena and American sports. But also some of the venues we've been able to play, Chet Gladchuck, our AD, has been able to secure some pretty cool places to play, NFL stadiums, playing in Ireland. Although last time we went to Ireland, didn't feel too well for us, but it's really a special deal for us, and we're grateful for it. We recognize who they are as a iconic football program, and it's a great challenge also for us to play them every year.
That said, what does it mean this year to be able to play the game almost as a home game here in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium?
Well, it's exciting to be able to play, like you said, M&T Bank Stadium, play here in Baltimore, really close to Naval Academy. We also recognize that there'll be a lot of Notre Dame fans too. So it's close. It's great to have it here, and it's going to be exciting. Great, NFL venue. But again, it's more than that to us. We're trying to win too. You know what I mean? We're not, coming just for the spectacle too. We're going to get everything we got.
Good luck Saturday, Coach.
Thanks, Scott.
Coach, if you could just tilt your camera down just a little bit, we're kind of cutting off the bottom of your face. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Wags.
Hello, Bill Wagner from the Capital Gazette and Baltimore Sun. Coach, can you talk about Notre Dame? They started a little tough, lost the game that probably their fans thought they shouldn't to Marshall, but then they really showed what their capabilities are by beating Clemson. Is it look like the same old Notre Dame to you?
Yeah, it looks like they've picked it up lately. Obviously, beating Clemson in the fashion that they did is pretty impressive. And in sports, it's what have you done for me lately? And so that's the only Notre Dame team that we look at, the team that, we saw recently on tape. And that was obviously really impressive. The thorough beating that they, gave to Clemson was really impressive.
You had mentioned after the game, you talked about the inability to finish in the red zone. And it's kind of been a season-long problem. You move the ball well between, the 25s, and then you get in there and it's just kind of stalls, and you're having to settle for field goals, and then it hurts worse if you don't make a field goal. But I mean, clearly you all have could score a lot more points this season. This past Saturday was another example. What do you, I mean, I know you're doing everything you can to fix it, but what are you seeing? What is causing that? Why do you, when you get in tight, are you having trouble punching it in?
Yeah, we just, got to do a better job of executing. Like you said, Wags, it's hurt us. By design, we're, trying to possess the ball and moving the ball, which is what we've always done. But, obviously we got to finish with points. Like you said, but coming up with nothing has been devastating. It took a lot of life out of us Saturday against a really good football team. There's a reason that they've won 30 straight home games. That's a really good team. And to come with that drive with nothing, that hurt us, especially since, we really only had 3 drives in that first half. We had a 3 and out and then 3 drives, and then we got the ball back basically to the knees, so to speak, and so when you only have, 4 possessions and you don't score and you get in the red zone, it really hurts. Like I said, we're doing it by design and slowing things down. limiting other people's possessions, you know what I mean, and stretching the ball out a little bit. But we definitely got to find a way to score, Wags, and we'll continue to stay at it, continue to work at it. You know, some of his execution, some of his the side guys on the other side are pretty good. I mean, I think we had, somebody said we had 7 plays or something inside the 11. You know, I mean, just I can't remember. It took a long time for us to get in the score that one time, you know. But we just got to continue to stay, you know, work at it, and continue to emphasize it, and, you know, hopefully we'll improve, Wags.
And then with the quarterbacks, Xavier brought what we knew he had the ability to do, the perimeter running threat. I thought the one keeper where he brought it all the way down the line and waited for the corner or safety to commit. And then when he did, he punched up and got a great run. And then that quarterback, the scramble, I guess, was kind of Malcolm-like with the way he took off. It reminded me of Malcolm, what he used to do when on pass plays. Can you talk about what Xavier brought to the field, Coach?
Yeah, I thought Xavier played a really good game. Proud of him. Thought he performed well in the hostile environment. Did a lot of good things, and super encouraged, you know, with this play as we make this stretch run. But again, you know, we finished 20-10. We had some opportunities. You know, we got to make some plays. We felt like we had a chance on the reverse if Jaden continues to stretch it, you know, but he came underneath. But he's made a lot of plays too coming underneath. He made a play against the Army guy coming underneath, you know, and we had a trick, you know, we had a trick play too that was wide open. That we, you know what I mean? And so you got to finish those, you know what I mean? Wags, we got to finish those, and our kids know that, you know what I mean? And so, but Xavier played well. I was really proud of him. I thought he played really well.
And last for me before I hand it back, obviously Masai brings a passing element. He threw some really nice balls. I thought 2 of those balls were as well thrown as you're going to see anywhere. Is there a way to incorporate Masai? And I know you don't want to be a giveaway, and when you bring him in, it's an automatic passing play, so you got to be careful with that. But is there a way to incorporate Masai into the game plan?
Yeah, you know, we've had a lot of those discussions, Wags, but like you said, you know, it's hard. We don't want to make it a dead giveaway. You know, he's got to be able to run the football too. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I thought he threw some really nice footballs, some really nice passes. And I thought he, you know, for the amount of times he's been able to get on the field, I thought he did some good things. You know, there's some things he missed, but he hasn't played much. And, you know, I was proud of Masai also.
Let's go to Pete Medhurst somewhere on 95 South, getting ready to call a couple Navy basketball doubleheader, or a couple Navy basketball games today.
That's correct. Just finished lunch at Cracker Barrel in Ashland, Virginia. Coach, another game this week where it's kind of a, you know, shoebox mentality. What has it been about your team, though, this year where they have embraced the physicality of those types of games and given you a chance to win a lot of those types of games this season?
I think, you know, we've been really good against the run this year. You know, we've defensively, we've struggled in the past a little bit, but we've been really good against the run. We made people earn it against us, and you know, it's a great testament to our D-line and our linebacker front 7. Coach Hova and, you know, Coach Volker and Coach Caniglia and those guys, they've done a good job. You know, obviously the secondary is involved in the run, you know, doing against the run, but it's kind of our nature. We're a physical team, and our guys have done a really good job responding to these kind of games. And like you said, we're going to have to do it again this Saturday.
I know you're kind of in your infancy in preparation for this week, but why has Notre Dame made what seemingly is a drastic improvement in terms of execution here over the past few weeks, and obviously culminating with a tremendous win on Saturday?
It seems like they've been, you know, they've done a lot of good things with special teams, blocked a lot of kicks. So they've been stout that way. They've, you know, been pretty stout defensively the whole year. They're coming into their own offensively, kind of finding their identity. I think that's been a big part of it. You know, really good on special teams, stout on defense. Offensively, you know, they got a ton of weapons. Obviously, their tight ends, the best in the country. But, you know, I think that's where they're catching the groove offensively as the season goes on.
You have faced a Freeman coach defense before. Is there any advantage at all to preparation having done that?
Yeah, when you draw it on the board, the X's and O's look pretty good until you see him out there at the X's. I know he's a really good football coach. He's given us a ton of trouble, ton of issues, since he's taken over. We had that one year when he's at Cincinnati and we did really, really good against them. And it was probably the worst thing we could do because they went in a hiatus. It's like they had a summit against option football and they've come back with some really good stuff. And his defenses that he's led against us have pretty much shut us out. He's done a really nice job.
I'm going to say the Jimmies and Joes changed dramatically after that game too for the other side as well. And that means a lot. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right, Pete. Well, it's not to say that schematically, he's got some good stuff, but the X's that we draw on our board are a little bit smaller than X's when we see them in person.
Okay, we'll make another trip around. Scott Wyckoff.
One more for me, Coach. When you guys each year play Notre Dame and with the makeup of this team, do you get a sense of a higher intensity in practice, kind of like your service academy games, with the team knowing they're going up against a team of this stature?
Most definitely. We recognize who they are. But we just came from playing Cincinnati too. Cincinnati was in the Final Four last year. So our guys recognize that, just some of the guys that we've been playing are really, really good. Obviously, Notre Dame's really good. But Cincinnati was ranked to start the season. And so I think coming against a really good team like Cincinnati, who beat Notre Dame last year, they actually played last year and they beat them. Hopefully, we kind of see the caliber of football that type of players you're going to see. But again, like you said, the Notre Dame talent level is, if not the top or the second best, but they're always one or two as the best teams we play at. Probably last year was the first time, maybe Cincinnati, we played another team that might have been a little better than them. But normally it's Notre Dame. Normally Notre Dame's the best team that we play, and this year they'll probably be the best team we play again too. That won't change.
Thanks.
Hey, Scott.
Wags.
Coach, the last time you played Notre Dame at M&T Bank Stadium in 2008, it was a close ball game. Ricky Dobbs came off the bench and led a pretty spirited comeback, and I think he recovered an onside kick, but weren't
Two of them.
Yeah, I remember the Corey Johnson got one of them, but
both of them. He got both of them.
Okay, Strauss is on it. But what do you remember?
Photographic memory, man.
I know, he's amazing. What do you remember of that game, Coach? I know it's been a while.
Well, I agree. I feel like we had a chance at the end. We had the ball at the end. I'm trying to remember what the final score was, but
27-21.
yeah. So we had the ball there at the end.
Yes.
Have the chance to score, and we had a smash route, and Ricky threw some tremendous balls. Had a stutter and goal that he hit Tyree Barnes for a touchdown, and which was a heck of a throw. And we felt like he had was a
Sean White.
I think it was Sean White. Yeah, ran a corner right. Sean White ran the corner out, was wide open, and kind of didn't throw the ball so well. But he threw some great balls. I just wish that one slightly missed him, but we get that one. We win. But obviously that was a long time ago. I think these guys were in kindergarten at that time, wherever they were. But we had a chance. We had a chance in 2008.
And you play a lot of games. You've played Army at M&T, Notre Dame a few times. You feel comfortable up there at M&T Bank?
I don't know. It's kind of a hard question. I like playing it, but I don't know if you're ever comfortable going to a game. It's a game. Wags. You're not comfortable at home. You're they're football games, so there's always anxiety. So we enjoy going up there to play up there. Great venue, Wags, a great atmosphere. But I don't know if comfortable would be the word I'd use, but we enjoy going up there.
Notre Dame is doing a good job on time of possession like you all. I think they're up in the 31-32 range. but it doesn't look like they're running a lot. What are they? Is it a short passing game? What are they doing to possess the ball so much, Coach?
A lot of that, I mean, I remember watching them against BYU too. They were running the clock down to the very last second. You know what I mean? Just they're checking plays late. I don't know. They're trying to get into the right play, but almost like snapping the ball with a couple seconds left. So I don't know if that was by design or they're trying to get a late checks. So some of it is kind of the nature they've been running things, but a lot of that is some shorter passing game, but also some of the games that look like they're snapping the ball with not very many seconds left on the clock. Kind of like what we try to do at times too.
Notre Dame has blocked 6 punts, including 1 in 4 straight games, which I'm sure you picked up on tape. Is that got to be an emphasis with the punt unit? Make sure to get that ball out for quickly.
Yeah, it's always an emphasis. But there's a reason that Coach Ken Niumatalolo, has our punt team. We're pretty exotic, and I think people are not afraid to go for it. So, we'll just, we'll put pressure on you too. They put pressure on you a lot by trying to come after you, but we'll put pressure on you by our formations. And if you don't line up correctly, I mean, like I said, especially against these guys, we're definitely not afraid of, going for it. And so they're really good at what they do in coming after kicks. We try to be exotic in what we do to try to see if people line up correctly to us. And if they don't, we got checks where we can run the ball. Had one against Tulsa. We probably had one last week, that we could have got. But yeah, it's kind of what we do defensively. I mean, on punt team is for teams like this that are really good at blocking kicks, because then we try to stress them the other way. That we're going to force you to line up to us. And if you don't, like you said, what do we have to lose? And if they don't line up correctly, I mean, we're gonna use our fakes.
And last for me, before I pass it on to Pete, obviously Notre Dame is always very big up front. They're hard to move, and over the years against you, they've had defensive linemen who are able to cause you some problems. What is the key to trying to get some movement on these guys?
And those guys last week caused us some problems. 58, Danny was telling me.
Dante Corley, whatever his name is, was a beast.
Well, they said Coach O'Rourke, said he's the highest ranked defensive lineman in the country, interior defensive lineman, which I had no idea. It's like we could not block that guy. So, yes, White, what you said is exactly right. Unfortunately, these last couple of weeks, we've had some trouble blocking some. We played some really good guys the last couple of weeks. Houston has some guys, SMU, Temple, obviously Cincinnati, and another group coming here. And Notre Dame, we just got to do our best, to use our fundamentals, use our schemes to try to help us the best we can. But it's going to be tough, like you said. It always is, as you said, too.
Thank you.
These Whites.
Yeah, Cincinnati's 2 inside guys are ranked number 1 and number 2 by PFF.
Oh, I didn't know the other guy was 2.
Yeah. Pete. Medhurst, can you hear me?
With enough of a sample, we get enough now. Is there anybody personnel-wise that maybe has exceeded your expectations and contributed a lot more than you had thought at the beginning of the season?
You talking on both sides of the ball, or?
Yeah, just anywhere on the field.
Yeah. Joe Hudson's coming and play some, coming there on some of our dime and nickel stuff or dime stuff. He's come in. He's on offense, probably Connor McMahon. Connor's a guy that's coming in there. I think we've thought about that. Oh, Nathan Kent, wide receiver, true freshman. It's he's probably one of the bigger surprises. I think most of the other guys, I'm just, to my Byron, our snapper, he was a backup coming, so he's the guy that's coming won the snapping job as our snapper.
Deshaun Peel maybe of late. Deshaun Peel.
Yeah, Deshaun Peel came in, done a good job here lately. Yeah, I think those are probably guys. Pete Aka at tight end, he wasn't a guy early on, what I mean, but super young guys, what I mean, just a team of our older guys. Like I said, I feel like John's playing kind of like how John's playing like how Springer was, when he was a senior. But John Marshall's playing really, really well at the striker position. And but some of our young guys, are coming along, which really encouraging. Inside linebackers or D-line, all returns. We're getting a lot of contribution. A lot of our secondary all freshmen. Underclassmen. And on offense, the only seniors they played a lot are Mark Walker and Kip. So a lot of other guys that are playing, they played before, maybe not a ton. Anton didn't play a ton before, but we expected him to play. Dabo didn't play a ton, or didn't play at all last year, I don't think, but he's playing a lot. So Vincent Terrell, he's doing a lot of good things. But I think probably the one guy that we didn't count on is maybe Nathan Kent. He's been, that release that he got on his post route against one of their corners was, as good a route that I've seen in a long time. He's a press man, and to see him make that big catch was awesome. I know he'd like to get the one back from SMU, which just shows you the work that the kid has done. He's worked hard since then and had the really nice coach.
Great. Thank you, sir.
All right. Be safe, Pete.
Thanks.
Anyone
Them good luck.
Yes.
Well, just one more for me, Coach. Anton Hall ended up getting the bulk of reps at fullback. Daba had been playing pretty well since he took over as a starter. Did Daba get banged up at all, or was it just that Anton got a couple months and he stuck with a hot hand?
We stuck with the hot hand. We've been obviously very concerned about ball security with Anton. But as the game went on, we started to feel more comfortable with him. And it was kind of just who was playing the best. I thought they both played pretty well. Probably as good as our fullbacks had played against a really good team. Obviously Daba had all those big yards against Tulsa. Anton played really well against ECU. But I thought they ran hard for some tough yardage inside. What is like what you said, Wags. We wanted him. We just felt like he was playing a little bit better.